Ergonomics is the study of human capabilities in relation to work demands. This video will review the safety risks associated with lifting. From time to time, all nursery and greenhouse workers are required to lift objects of varying weights and sizes. In this video, we will discuss how to identify potentially dangerous lifts and actions you can take to help prevent injury. Preventing back injuries in any agricultural environment can be a major challenge. According to U.S. government statistics, 1 out of every 5 injuries that occur on the job is a back injury. In the United States, more than 1 million back injuries occur each year. These injuries can impact production in a nursery and greenhouse, but more importantly, can cause long-term pain and suffering to the injured employee. Back injuries can be very painful. They tend to last for an extended period of time. If you've ever experienced a back injury, you already know this. Once you have experienced one back injury, you are much more likely to experience another injury sometime during your lifetime. Therefore, it is important to take actions to help prevent any sort of back injury. Work performed at a nursery or greenhouse operation will often require that items be lifted and moved, such as general nursery equipment and supplies, fertilizer and other chemicals, container-grown plant material, and flats of seedlings. The list goes on and on. The common misconception of lifting safety is that as long as the item is not too heavy, you should be safe to perform the lift. However, it is important to remember that the weight of the object is only part of the concern. Lifting height, your body position, rotation, and footing all play an important role in determining whether the lift can be performed without injury. Many back injuries are usually not the cause of a single factor. Like other repetitive motion injuries, they can occur from damage caused over a period of time. There are many actions which have a large impact on causing back injury. How much weight is considered safe to lift is actually very difficult to determine. The weight you should safely attempt to carry depends on your physical condition, the shape of the object, and the location of the item. Items that are considered too heavy for one person to lift may be able to be lifted safely with 2 people. If your supervisor recommends 2 people lift a certain item, you should follow this advice and not try to lift the object by yourself. Lifting an item from below your knees is much harder than lifting something already positioned at or near your waist. Extra care should be taken when lifting from ground level. Never lift an item by bending at the waist. Instead, bend at the knees and lift with the legs and abdominal muscles. When you're required to reposition an item that you have lifted, you may feel that you need to rotate your upper body to complete the move. Rotation at the waist while carrying a load is one of the major causes of back injury and should be avoided if possible. Similar to rotating, stretching or reaching out away from your body while carrying a load can cause damage to your back. Keep in mind that the amount of weight you can safely lift is much less when you carry the item in outstretched arms instead of near your body. An area often overlooked when lifting and carrying objects is the surface on which you are standing or need to walk across. Areas with uneven terrain and rocky or muddy surfaces can present challenges for an employee. Remember that the amount of weight you can safely lift is less if you are working on a surface that is not level and dry. Practicing a safe lifting technique will help eliminate the potential for any sort of back injury. When required to lift an object from the ground, follow the following tips. Check your stance. Your feet should be about shoulder width apart and close to the object so that you feel balanced. Bend down at the knees. It should feel like you are squatting as close as possible to the object. Get a good grip on the object. Make sure you will have control of the item before you lift it. Lift gradually using your legs and abdominal muscles. Keep the item as close to your body as possible. Try to keep your back as straight as possible. When placing an object on the floor, follow the same technique in reverse. Once you have lifted an item and are required to change direction, you should lead with your feet and legs. This will reduce the amount of twisting at the waist. Just point your feet in the direction you wish to go and follow. When required to place an item on a shelf or platform, you should attempt to keep the object close to your body until you have released it from your grip. Never lean to place a load over another object. If you need to prepare a spot for the item to be placed, do so before lifting it. If you choose or are asked to wear a lifting belt at work, remember that although it can give a supportive feeling across your lower back, it does not increase the amount of weight you can safely lift. You should continue to follow the safe lifting practices even when wearing a lifting belt. The number one safe lifting practice to remember is to think and plan. Think first about the object you need to lift or move. How big is it? How much does it weigh? Where are you going to grab it? Where are you going to move it? Are there any obstructions along the way? Have a good plan before you perform the lift. Taking the time to think and plan can help eliminate the potential for injury. Make sure you can safely handle the item before lifting it and ask for help when appropriate. To review, always follow the proper lifting technique. Never lift by bending at the waist. Instead, bend with the legs and hips. Do not twist or rotate your body while carrying heavy objects. Instead, turn your entire body by pointing your feet in the direction you want to go. Never reach out away from your body while lifting an object. Try to get as close to the load as possible, slide it closer to you if needed. Check for proper footing, being careful of uneven or slippery surfaces. Think and plan. Take a moment to think first about what you're about to do before you actually do it. Following these guidelines can help protect you from a back injury.